What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And in today's video, very excited to bring you this one talking about the brand new Super Evolution for the month of March 2023, which is none other than the red-haired pirates themselves, the Shanks crew, coming in to save the worldwide anniversary. Or are they? We're going to be discussing that. So let's just jump straight into it, because I'm sure this is going to be a longer video. There is going to be another video that I upload talking about the new Kizuna badge, the new support rare recruit. There's some interesting stuff to talk about there, so definitely stay tuned to the channel. But let's talk about the base version of the red-haired pirates before we jump into the Super Evolution, just so we can compare and contrast how this unit changes with their Super Evolution. So you can already see the artwork there, and you do need 3 skulls, very similar to Cat Viper and Dogstorm in the previous month, because it is a dual unit. I don't know why they do it like this, but it is what it is. You only need the 3 skulls, and you can use a base yellow and a base blue, which is good. Let's jump into it though. Let's talk about the Redhead Pirates, and you guys will be seeing the ink effect of the new unit in just a moment. But the Redhead Pirates, this unit here, in terms of what they do, you've got the Psy version of Shanks, his slasher Cerebral. The captain ability is very mundane, 3.5 attack, 1.2 HP, quick slots matching, but the big thing of removing 10 turns of special bind, this was one of the first characters in the game to do this, and ever since he came out was already still one of the best units in the game. Kind of a history lesson, this guy came out at a really weird time. It was like the celebration, like as a lead up to the anniversary for Japan during that year. And what was funny is this character came out as like a lead up to the anniversary, but this guy was better than all of the anniversary units that came out. This unit was so powerful on release, right? You got the other version though, so you got Shanks as one part of the dual unit, the other one being the crew members of Beckman, Lucky Roo, and Yasop. We got a 3.25 times attack, so lower attack multiplier, Psy slots matching, but you get damage reduction in their captain, and you still get the special bind removal. But when you combine into their dual form, obviously you got the better attack, you got more matching slots, the damage reduction, the utility of special bind, but the really cool effect, every time you hit a perfect, you do end of turn damage with a scaling multiplier. So it was kind of like a pseudo way to get around resilience, and it was kind of like V2 Akainu for those who have used it back in the day. Every time you hit a perfect, you do huge end of turn damage to a single target, but this was a buffed version of that because it actually hit all enemies. Very strong effect with this unit. The special ability, also very simple but good back when it released. 20% health cut, 3.5 chain lock for 3 turns, and then fuse for the dual unit for 3 turns. But the other big component of this unit was the swap effect. 1.5 attack to all characters and change adjacent slots to matching. And obviously we saw the release of Roger and Newgate that came out during New Year celebration a couple years back, and that swap and their super swap incredibly busted. So this coming out when it did, like, was by far and away the best unit in the game. But how have they changed it with this character's Super Evolution? So Shanks crew, we can see the ink effect right here, looks so good. Obviously it's now the time skip version, so we had the East Blue version of Shanks crew, now we have the lads, the gang rocking up at Marineford to the impeding Emperor. So let's go ahead and have a look. You've got the base version of Shanks, who is the same, Psy slasher Cerebral. You've got the crew members, Quick Shooter Cerebral, nothing has changed there. You got Shanks' base captain. Now remember, this is the level limit break form of the unit. This is the highest capacity this unit can get. We'll have a brief look towards the end of the video in terms of what the changes are, but you've got -1 cooldown, 4.75 times attack as the solo form of Shanks, which is very good, 1.35 health, quick recovery and tandem slots are beneficial to the crew, 10 turn removal of special bind, and another really neat effect in the solo captain. Whenever you use a set chain multiplier special, you extend the duration of it by 1 turn. It does specifically say set chain multiplier. I don't think this will count for chain boundaries. I believe it's only for chain locks. I could be wrong about that, but just from the wording here, I'm pretty sure it's just chain locks. Either way, it's a pretty good solo captain. You have the inverse, which is the crewmates. A little bit less multiplier, 4.5 attack only. You get Psy slots matching instead of quick, as well as recovery and tandem, but you get the 20% damage reduction, the 10 turn special bind removal, and the chain lock extension effect. Pretty good. And then in their combined form, very similar to what we've seen, -1 cooldown, the multiplier going up to 5.25, 1.35 HP, quick Psy recovery and tandem beneficial. 25% damage reduction, 10 turn special bind removal, extending the duration of chain locks by 1 turn, and then the end of turn damage effect. Every perfect you hit will scale up to 1,000 times his attack, end of turn damage to all enemies. It's pretty much what we expected. We didn't really expect too much to change with their captain. Their captain was already good. The multipliers needed to be buffed. So honestly, there's really not a lot to really complain about. Having a look at the special though, the special actually has seen a little bit of change. So 20% health cut, which is the same, but now changing the crew's block slots into matching, and then also locking the crew slots for 1 turn. So that is completely new, which I like to see. And now the chain lock has been upped from 3.5 to 3.75 for 3 turns. Remember, if you use him as a captain, that will become a 4-turn chain lock. With double Shanks crew, it becomes a 5-turn 3.75 chain lock, which is just absurd to think about. And then they combine to the dual unit for 3 turns, but then they have a differing effect depending on who is the captain, or what color the captain is per se. So when you use the special, and if the captain is a quick unit, then you get a 1000 base attack boost for 3 turns, but if you have a Psi captain when you use the special, you get a 2.25 color affinity for 3 turns. So yeah, it's just really weird when you compare it to last month and how that unit got buffed compared to how Shanks crew got buffed. But then again, you know, they're used for different things, I suppose. But all things considered, I do think it is a good special, and it's definitely a buffed version of their base special. One thing I want to bring your attention to is that this character's crewmate ability allows them to completely evade special bind, and the base version of Shanks crew already had this. I would have loved if this unit's special allowed him to remove special bind, because we had a Legend Shiki when he came out with a 6+. He had this crewmate ability, but the base special never did anything with special bind. But then they updated it with his 6+ to remove special bind. So it is unfortunate that we had, you know, such an old Super Evolution have that change added, but then this unit doesn't do it. So I would have loved if he had the ability just to remove maybe like 5 to 7, maybe 8 turns of special bind. Would have been wicked, but it is what it is, right? It is what it is. I think all things considered though, this unit is still going to be very, very good. Now, another thing, we already talked about their swap effects, you know, the base swap of the base version and how good it was on release, and it is still pretty good. You know, you can use it every single turn to get free boost. But what this character has now is that the base switch is still the same. It's still a 1.5 attack boost adjacent slots matching. With the access of Super Switch, you now get a full board of slots and a 2.25 times attack boost. So you can already see, right? You can use their Super Switch to get the full board of slots and a 2.25 attack boost. The special ability to lock the slots, you get the chain lock and either a base attack boost or a color affinity boost. You can see how this can kind of work, and you get a lot of different effects with one unit by themselves. If you have double Shanks crew, you can use one Super Switch one turn, one Super Switch on another turn. You get multiple turns of pretty good burst, right? So overall, like, there's not a lot to complain about. Like, they just kind of upped the numbers and added a couple of decent effects. That's all they really needed to do. This unit is still going to be good, but it's just, it's a lot to consider when you have a look at the previous month's 6+, but you gotta remember, the base version of Cat Viper and Dogstorm was way worse to the base version of Shanks crew, right? Like, Shanks crew was so much better in almost every single way compared to the base version of Cat and Dog. So you can already imagine that the buffs for their Super Evolution and level limit breaks aren't going to be as stark, right, when you compare these two units, which I know a lot of people are going to compare them because they're back-to-back dual unit 6+. And I think a lot of people are more impressed, or are going to be more impressed with what Cat Viper and Dogstorm got given to them. But when you look at what this kit does as a base package, it is still pretty good, right? It's still really good. Anyways, let's have a look at the Rumble stuff, because this unit I think might see some play in Rumble. So the Rumble ability, level 6 health, but then when the time remaining is 70 seconds or less. So basically, for the first 30 seconds, you don't get any of these additional effects. But after the first 30 seconds, then you get level 6 defense and level 5 attack for the whole crew. Really good Rumble ability there. And then the special 24 CT, 25% health cut to a medium horizontal range, which isn't the best. It's really not that good. But then your entire crew gets 5 attack, 5 defense for 24 seconds. That is actually pretty good. But you gotta remember, this is more of a defensive style unit. Like, are you really gonna waste a legend slot on your crew for a unit such as this? At least in terms of offense, probably not. In terms of defense, I feel like this unit will actually provide some nice things. You could use it on maybe a defensive slasher team. I don't even know if that exists, but maybe it could be a thing. Maybe on a cerebral team, but then again, you know, Super Sugo Shanks is really good on a cerebral team too. So this guy might have some overlap there. Unfortunately, no Grand Party stuff would have been really cool, but either way, that is the breakdown of the Super Evolution of Shanks crew. I guess some people may want to see what the base version of Shanks crew get in terms of the buffs, because if you don't have level limit break, you know, you're not going to have all of the buffs that we just talked about. You know, the attack multiplier here is only a 5 times with this version, and you don't get recovery slots as beneficial, and you don't get the extension of chain lock with their captain ability either. So it's actually a pretty big difference with their captain. The special ability doesn't lock the slots, and the base attack boost and color affinity is only for 1 turn instead of 3 turns, so that's already a pretty big difference. Luckily, the super switch is still the same, which is okay. But I think, you know, the differences with the special and captain ability, they don't seem like a lot at the moment, but when you really get down to the nitty gritty of it and you actually use this unit, that's actually a pretty big difference. Like the ore block, multiple turns of base attack boost and color affinity can definitely change things, and the extension of chain lock to make that chain lock last for a really long time, yeah, it definitely will help a lot, to be honest. But anyways, that is going to wrap it up for me. So definitely let me know down below in the comment section, guys, what do you guys think of the brand new Super Evolution for Shanks crew? Would love to hear your guys' opinion on it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video today. If you guys did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.